Hello, Libra. Welcome to Spicy Sunflower Tarot. Welcome to this weekly reading. Welcome to the month of August, Leo season, the dog days of summer. Thank you so much for your watching and being a part of the channel. I'm going to use Tarot of the Mystical Moments. And Libra, your sun could be Libra, your moon, your rising. Maybe you have your Venus in Libra or your Mars in Libra. If you're not any kind of a Libra sign, maybe you're watching because you are interested in a Libra and you want to know a little bit about what's going on in their lives. That's a possibility too. Either way, however it is, you're welcome to be here. There might be a message for you, and I just want to remind you, don't ever make a reading fit. If it's not your reading, let it go. There might be pieces and parts of this reading that fit better than others. So just use your good judgment and your free will. We're going to use this deck to uncover whatever your block could be, if there's a block at all. But first we want to look at, what is it that Libra fears? What does Libra fear? If anything, maybe you're not afraid of anything, Libra, but what do you fear? What are you afraid of? The Eight of Swords. Being stuck in your head, having anxiety, feeling like you're trapped within your thoughts, not being able to escape the cage that you create with your own mind. All these thoughts that you think, it just feels like you're putting yourself in a prison of your own mind. And that is what you're afraid of. Why are you stuck? Why is Libra stuck? If you're stuck at all, why? Why is Libra stuck? Five of Pentacles. There's this overwhelming feeling of poverty, of loss, of abandonment, of being left out in the cold. Everybody else is taken care of. They're warm. They're by the fire. They're with each other. But you always feel somehow like you're on the outside looking in. That keeps you feeling stuck. How do you unblock yourself, Libra? How do you unblock yourself? If that is how you're feeling, that's what keeps you stuck. How do you unblock yourself? Six of Wands. What you do is you take a note of all of your wins in life. What have you succeeded in? What have you been victorious in? What do you have versus what you've lost? Instead of being consumed with poverty thinking, of loss, of lack, of what I don't have, what do you have? Six of Wands is taking account of everything you've gained, all of your wins. This is all the things that you've been victorious in. Have you been promoted? Are you successful in your marriage? Do you have beautiful kids? Do you have personal achievements that you have on your resume? What are your wins? That is how you unblock yourself. At the bottom of the deck is your energy, Justice. Libra. This is the major arcana Justice card attributed to the sign of Libra. Libra, you're the only inanimate object in the entire 12 astrological signs. You are the sign of the scales, the balanced, equal scales. You know, the thing about a Libra is they will always find balance, no matter what. No matter what the situation, person, place, or thing, they will find a way to bring balance and harmony into that scenario. So they have these inanimate objects, the scales. Libra, you're an air sign. You aren't really so much somebody that leads with your emotions. You are a thinker. You're an action taker. You are trying to find balance and equilibrium with your thoughts and your communications. You have your sword of truth. You're always seeking truth and balance and justice and fairness. Essentially, you want to think of like Lady Liberty. So this is at the it's the underlying energy under the deck for everything we've already talked about. Let's grab a clarification spread with When Women Had Wings. This is the When Women Had Wings tarot cards. We're going to do a quick clarification row for the sign of Libra. Let's start back with what you fear. The 8 of Swords. Being stuck in your head. Anxiety. Why is that what a Libra fears? 9 of Wands. Because you've been hurt. You've been through the battle. You're a wounded warrior. You've had a lot of things happen to you in your life that you don't really trust everything just to take its natural course. You always kind of feel like you have to maintain some semblance of control, some semblance of, I want to know what's happening so that I can protect myself. That's why all the overthinking comes into play and all the anxiety happens. When anxiety happens, it's because we're fretting the future. When depression happens, it's because we're fretting the past. So we're fretting the future. That's what we fear. We fear what could happen, what's gonna happen, what we think is around the corner. We don't know, we just feel that, we think that. And we do that because we're always trying to be protecting ourselves because we've been hurt. We've been through it. We've been battled and we're scarred and we're wounded. That doesn't mean we're out, but we're definitely battle worn. So that's perfectly understandable. That's what we're afraid of. We're afraid of letting our guard down and not being ready for what's next. Why are you stuck? 5 of Pentacles. We're poverty-minded. We're lack-minded. We're thinking about what we don't have versus what we do. So why is the 5 of Pentacles here for Libra as far as why they're stuck? 2 of Cups. This is an emotional bond, a partnership. It's a soulmate energy. It's true love. You could be feeling stuck about being left out and outside and abandoned and forgotten about because you're not acknowledging that you have this emotional connection with somebody, but for some reason, rather than feel this connection with this person, you would rather protect yourself by focusing on what you don't have. Even though, yeah, there's this person that really loves me and wants to be with me, all I can think about is what would happen if they left me or they abandoned me or they rejected me, if they weren't in my life. So it almost feels like you keep yourself stuck with all of the negative thoughts versus the positive of what you do have, those 2 full cups. How can you unblock yourself? Focusing on your wins, on the positives, on the good parts of life, Libra. Why is the 6 of Wands here for how to unblock yourself? It's the Page of Cups. It's an emotional, beautiful, lovely conversation of the emotional kind. It's an apology. It's a fresh start energy. Somebody saying to you, hey, can we start over? Can we start fresh? Can we go back to page 1 and literally Page of Cups? Can we just pretend like you haven't been focused on everything that has hurt you, that you're not coming from a wounded place? Can we just start over, just you and I, and just be on the same page and get it together, and let's let's just take stock of what we have. What is good about us? What makes us a good pair, a good combo? Why are we in each other's lives in the first place? Let's just acknowledge that. And at the bottom of the deck, it's the 10 of Wands. So a step up from this 9, it's this culmination of, there's so much heavy, burdensome, back-breaking energy that you've endured. You really have borne the weight of the world on your back. You've taken on all the burdens. You've been the one that everybody has said, hey, Libra, do you have extra time that you can do this? Hey, Libra, if you're available, here's this. And everybody has just layered and stacked and burdened you up with all these tasks and all these things, and you've taken it. But you finally are saying, no mas, no more. I can't. I don't have the energy for it. I don't have the ability to take on one more thing. So at the bottom of the deck, as an underlying energy for your clarification, it's just a Libra that says, no more. In order for me to live my best life and to get the most out of what I want, I have to find justice, and I have to say there's going to be some no sometimes. As much as I say yes, I have to also say no, and that's what's going to bring my scales back to a sense of balance. Let's get you an oracle card, Libra. This is the Priestess of Light oracle cards. And for the sign of Libra, it says brilliant beliefs. This is a luminous life force, personal power, brilliant beliefs, luminous life force, personal power. Awesome. That is absolutely beautiful. Libra, this is your reading. Thank you so much for being here, for being a part of the channel. Spicy Sunflower Tarot is on TikTok and YouTube. And your likes and your follows, your subscribes and your shares, your comments, always welcome. Thank you. Be blessed. Be well. We'll see you next week.